What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. It is the 19th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $2.09. I don't even know what world we're living in right now. 7 hours and 58 minutes left in this day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. So, if this double bottom is to prevail, we can't really go too much lower than we're at now. We'll look at the short-term stuff. We'll see what's going on, if there are signals that we are ready to bounce here. If not, we might have to just accept the fact that XRP it's going to drop below $2 because from a low to a high, a break of this level would likely imply that we do go to $1.95 to $1.80. And maybe that's what we need. Maybe XRP needs to go below $2. We need to capitulate the mines, right? Being at $2.09 versus $1.95 isn't that big of a difference at all. But psychologically it is, right? Above $2 versus below $2. Above $2, oh, it's safe. We're fine. We're going to new all-time highs. Below $2, piece of crap. Why did I buy this thing? It's going to zero. Worthless. Don't touch me, right? That's the psychological warfare that's at play here when we do go below $2. So I'm assuming there's a solid chance that it could happen. But again, as I will say with any lower low calls that I'll make today, if there are any. I've made one for ZBEC and I'm making one now for XRP. Maybe. We're not at that point yet where we actually know if we're going lower or not. It just looks like it here. We really could double bounce. But even if we do go lower, it's likely going to be short-lived and we'll come back with a vengeance in a very short amount of time, okay? I wouldn't expect this to be a long-lived endeavor below these levels here. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll zoom out from there, then we'll see how it goes, okay? Looking at the 1 hour, $2.09. Here we are. Ferocious to the downside. I actually want to look at something with some volume. Yeah, picking up volume as you're going down. Man, some wicked volatility beforehand too. I don't get it. I just don't get it because the S&P's up today. Yeah, we opened up green. We moved up. As soon as the stock market opens up, we move down. That's funny. Maybe not funny for people who are not having a good time, but 1 hour RSI looks bearish. Okay, it looks very bearish. You are at the oversold area, the areas that you found support here, where you found support here. It's not a bad look to consider that we might have a double bottom here. So that's kind of nice. All right, kind of at an area to find support. If you do, great. But if not, lower. We'd want to see XRP get above about $2.23, 24 cents. Let's just say 225. Get above 225. Get above these highs. I think that would be nice. 224 technically. That would help validate this as a low, and that'd really start to make this look like we are at a double bottom. So $2.08.7 now. All we need to do is move up to about 224. Okay. Stochastics are bearish. The MACD is bearish. There's not really a whole lot to go off of with both these indicators, but you're oftentimes bearish when you're at your low points. So could we go lower? Sure we could, but I think based off the RSI, we will find support somewhere around here. The fact that we've got double bottom potential, I think we'll find support somewhere around here as well. Unless we just drop right through the floor. Yeah, looking at this here, I think we are set up for a double bottom. I think that's what we're going to get. Using the RSI, we've got a bit of a double bottom here relative in the RSI. 3 hours, 54 minutes left in this 4 hour candle. If this 4 hour candle can close green, there's some serious promise of this being a double bottom. And this 4 hour candle, for those of you who are watching maybe at a later time, it's the 16th hour of today, the 19th. The stochastics are oversold, bearish. The MACD is bearish. Again, not really a whole lot to go off of with both those indicators. They would just both be okay with us going lower. And I mean, if we take this into consideration, we look at this low here and we tie it up, right? It would just make sense that we go a little bit lower, perhaps down to like $2.03. Maybe we do wick just below these lows. You do not need to be above this low. You can be below that low and still form a double bottom. I promise you, imagine we go below $2. We're at like $1.98 right down here. We zoom out on a daily time frame. Sorry, daily time frame. If we were to bounce, right, we bounced here right at that point, and we bounced here right at this point, I promise you that's still a double bottom. That's that's still, you know what I mean? It might be a slightly lower low, but it's still a double bottom or a fake out, whatever you want to call it. It's just like this here acted as a double top. You know, it was a little bit higher, but still, right? Um, I do think that we're set up for a double bottom, but with that being said, does that mean that we can't go lower? No, we can go lower. Absolutely. That's what we were just saying, right? We can go lower. So be apprehensive to that, right? Don't be is that the right word to use? Just don't be afraid of it. Be accepting of it is all I'm saying. If we go below $2 and you're not accepting of it, you might get emotional and make the wrong decision. If we go below $2 and you're not emotional, you're accepting of it, you'll know to buy the dip or just hold, and then a day goes by and we're back up here anyways, right? But if this candle can close green, there's some serious promise that right here is the low. This 4-hour candle, if it closes green, because we're bouncing right off the oversold zone with that. And every time we do that, we get a little bit of a lift. And from this area, I would expect a good lift. By the way, if we do close this green and the lift we get only takes us here and then we return back to these levels, we likely do go lower. But if the lift we get takes us above that high, again, $2.24, it's really looking like a double bottom. It really is. 224, I think, is an important relative level. Stochastics are bearish, but you look like you want to cross up if this 4-hour closes green. The MACD is bearish. Nothing really to go off of there, okay? Daily time. What I'm disappointed in is that as soon as we caught on to this trend, it was like it worked for us a few times, and then this week it just hasn't worked at all, is that when the MACD crosses above the zero, typically you consolidate for a little bit, and then you rally. But here we consolidated for a little bit, and we didn't rally. We had a false rally, and then we came down. We even had bullish divergence, and we didn't even get a rally off of that. You're getting bullish signals and then still providing bearish price action. That's not good, guys. We need to show some life here soon, because that is sickly, to say the least. Daily time frame, looking at this, I'm not worried about XRP. When I talk like that, I hope nobody thinks that I'm thinking XRP is going to the dumps. It's just we need to show some life. Okay. I have very high prospects for XRP, as we're about to discuss, as we have discussed over the months at length. Looking at the MACD here on the daily time frame, building bearish momentum, not really much to say there. It would make sense that we go below $2. Stochastics are bearish, just getting into the oversold zone. The last time we got oversold was here. Did we go lower? Yes, we did. Both are in the oversold zone, though, so let's just see what happened the last time. Last time we had both indicators in the oversold zone was back here. Did we go lower? Just slightly. Did we go lower when we got both indicators in the oversold zone here? Just slightly. Barely. Barely. Absolutely just barely. We got both of them in the oversold area here as of this day. Did we go lower? Yes, but just slightly. A little bit more slight than the other couple of examples that we've had. But all that to say, I do think we're at a low point. Again, I don't know if this is the low in itself. I'll be more confident of this being the low if this 4-hour candle closes green. But we could very well, in this 4-hour period, go below $2, come back up and close it green. You know what I mean? We could close this candle green, the 4-hour candle green here, like up to here, and then the next one goes down below $2, and then that one closes green. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of prices going below $2. That's all I'm trying to say. Looking at the weekly time frame, and not on the Coinbase chart because it's forsaken. They forsaked XRP. Is forsaked a word? Forsaken, but not forsake. I don't know. Forsaked. High to low. The expectation here is that XRP will not go below these lows. It will not break out of this range to the downside. It is that we will break to the upside, and when we break out to the upside, we likely see a move that is similar to what we saw here, if not a little more, if not a little less. And from this price right here that we're at right now, that move would take us right up to about $15, which is our target area. I have assumed for a while that this next move, whenever it happens, we've been wrong about the timing, but when it happens, the expectation is that we will go just above the 1414 at $13.57. We'll go just above there. Not right at it, not right below it. I know that this looks like a level, it looks like a well-respected level because it's got a fancy pink line and there's a number on it and everything, but typically with the 1414 you actually wick just above it. And this same move would provide that. I think a fallacy of the mind that a lot of people in the crypto space have is that this was a one-off, that XRP can't do this again. But the reality of the situation is, in my opinion, it would be more, Genuinely, I think that the statistical probability of going to $27 from here versus stopping at 837, I think this is more likely than this is. Does that make sense? Like, what I'm trying to say is it's less likely that XRP sees a small move. When it breaks out, it'd be more likely that we stop here. This is the most likely outcome. But between this line or this line, it's more likely that we do something crazy and unexpected to the upside rather than a small disappointing move. Because when XRP moves, when it moves up, I mean, I don't think we can find a move in its history when it's broken out, whenever it's actually made strides higher. I don't think we could find a move that's small enough to get us to 837. They would all take us here or higher. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Very much expecting big things out of XRP. It's possible that we see a little bit of volatility. Bitcoin's, getting volatile right now. If we do see lower lows, it's okay. If we do go below $2, it's okay. And that's really the main message here. All right. Take care. Bye.